write songs about your girlfriend. I'm so tired of hearing about songs about oil and weather and stuff. You know, I said, if you wanted to write songs about your girlfriend, that always works. You know, too many bands now are just boring. So boring. Young bands, I go, what do you have against being a rock star? Why do you want to just be this guy that that the curtain is more exciting than you? You know? And I don't get it. We were in a great period of music then when you were allowed to be Pink Floyd. You didn't have to just be in this box. It was a much more creative time. You could be Procol Harum and be influenced by classical. You could be a prog rock band like Emerson, Lake and Palmer. You could be David Bowie, who came from being a mime to creating the Bowie, character.
Yeah, sure.
And you were allowed to do that. In fact, you were encouraged to do that. So when Alice came along, I was another, cog in that wheel. Here was this new thing now. It's not positive, it's negative, but somehow it's positive. It's fun to watch.
I like that green grass under my shoes. What can I do? I'm flat. That's that. I'm all alone when I turn down my lamp. That's why the lady is a tramp. No, this is ridiculous. What are we doing here? This is the stupid. Hey, you. Here, take this. Give me my boots. I can't.
Don't take them off here. Listen here, I'm responsible for this.
I'm not doing this. Don't you understand? This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life.
We understood sensationalism. We understood what sold papers. Never let the truth get in the way of a good story. There was no internet. Communication was urban legend. If you had a snake this big, by the next day at school, it was 40 feet long. And it ate 2 people in the front row, So you didn't have to. All you had to do was just feed them this stuff. All you had to do was do your show. And it became 10 times bigger and more dangerous than it was. Now, that's not saying that we weren't insane on stage and we did all that stuff. But by the time it got to Britain, we certainly were the worst thing that could ever happen. I remember Tass, the Russian thing, said, Alice Cooper is the worst example of Western civilization.
Decadence,
and they'll never play Russia, and does this and this. And the British, hated us. The people loved us, but the two MPs that were trying to ban us, thank you. We couldn't have bought these people to do what they did. Trying to ban us was the best thing ever happened. We were, when the Sex Pistols came over here, they just took the page out of that book of ours. It made us so big. And all we had to do was just keep feeding the kitty. What do you want to do now, Shep? I don't know. Let's stall a truck in Piccadilly Square. Okay. And the British had a great sense of humor about the Hollywood stunt.
Sure.
And they got it, that actually would do that, and stop England for about two hours, They loved it, but you're right. I mean, there was, Ann Landers took quite an exception to Cold Ethel. Which was a song about necrophilia that I thought was a very funny song, and I figured everybody would get this. I'm not really going to sleep with a dead girl, But Ann Landers, thought that, well, the public better know about this. And I remember Shep and I wrote a letter to her saying, if there is a gigantic rash of necrophiliaism in the country, we'll take responsibility for that. I really don't think that's going to happen. I don't think you're going to find a lot of kids dying from guillotines. Not that easy to find, And they finally started getting it. it took a while before they started getting it. But you're right, it was like we were the most dangerous band in the world for a long time, you know, and we were laughing our heads off. You know, we were a good rock and roll band that really liked to have fun with the audience, and we liked to set up the audience, and we liked to do all this stuff. And yeah, we did do all this crazy stuff. But the more that we got this press, the more we just kept going, yeah, just keep this going, because this is not going to last forever. You cannot shock an audience anymore. It's impossible to shock the audience. They cut my head off every night on stage. It's a traditional thing now that people love to watch. You know,
It's kind of heartwarming.
traditional.
Actually.
They feel very bad if it doesn't
touching.
happen. Yeah, but you turn on CNN, there's a guy really getting his head cut off.
Right.
I'm shocked by that. I'm totally shocked by that. You know, so reality becomes more shocking than Alice Cooper or Marilyn Manson or Rob Zombie or any of the shock rock bands. We don't look at ourselves as being shocking anymore. We use shock as part of the show, you know, because people want that and we like that ourselves. But we realize, you know, I don't know if anybody was really shocked by the meat dress. Were they? I told Lady Gaga it would be, on our show, we would have put you on a spit and barbecued you. And had the audience come up and eat the dress off of you, you know. And she went, let me write that down. That's a good idea. But I mean, still, you can't shock the audience. You cannot. They're unshockable. They're shock proof. You know, I could cut my arm off and eat it. You can do it twice. You know. Pick the right night to do that, you know.